The farmlands are among the most peaceful and serene places in the world. Life here seems simpler, easier to manage than the hurried life of the big cities. And yet, the life of the working farmer is far more difficult than most of us realize. While providing the rest of the country with much of the food that comes to our tables, these devoted families are often struggling to survive.
Come on, Curly.
When Dave Hansen's wife died, he was left to run the family farm with no help besides that of his 8-year-old son, Stephen. The boy was the delight of his life and all the family he had in the world. So it was with great reluctance that Dave agreed to let Stephen go away on a camping trip with his friends from school.
You be careful, you hear? You help them pitch the tent, okay?
Okay.
And don't forget to brush your teeth.
Okay.
Give me a hug. I love you, son.
I love you too, Dad.
The sheriff told Dave of an automobile accident near the young group's campsite. Most of the children escaped with minor injuries, but one had been killed instantly. And that one was his only son, Stephen.
I love you, son.
I love you too, Dad. I love you too, Dad.
No. I'm not gonna make it. I'm trying. But I miss you too much.
Mr. Hansen?
Yeah?
Hi, I'm Jerry Adams. This is my friend Sarah Kelly.
Hi.
Hi. We're doing our postgraduate work up at the U, and we're doing some research on farming in America.
Part of our sociology class.
I thought maybe we could ask you a couple of questions.
Why me?
Well, frankly, we've been asking all up and down the road, and everybody else seems to close their door on us.
Sure. Why not?
With more work than he could handle, the last thing Dave Hansen needed was another interruption. But for reasons that were not apparent to him at the time, he made a decision that paved the way for a miracle.
It's supposed to be corn out there, but it got awful dry this year. We're not going to get much of that in either. My son and I, we used to work all that.
And ever since the accident, you've been here by yourself?
As the hours passed, Dave found that for the first time in many months, he was enjoying the company of others.
And his dog, Curly.
Almost without realizing it, Dave began to tell the students his whole story, how he had lost all of his family, and how the farm had fallen on such hard times.
So when is your usual harvest around here?
Mr. Henson, did your wife make this quilt?
Yeah, she did.
It's so beautiful.
Only one like it in the world. Everything she made was one of a kind. No two alike. Yeah, these fields are pretty tough to work. What's even worse is I got the bank breathing down my neck. I got less than 6 months to pay the rest of the mortgage off, or they're gonna come and take the place. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't know. Well, it's just got to be more than I can handle alone. Something happens to you. You lose your family. You get up in the morning, and even though you got work to do, you don't feel like doing it. When you got a wife, you got a son, you got reasons. Oh, I'm getting real close to just giving up. Let me show you the barn. Whoa.
Yeah, no kidding.
What do you think about,
Giving him a hand?
Before I bought the place, this used to be a dairy farm. This barn used to get real busy. Now I just store hay here.
Excuse me, Miss Hanson. I don't mean to interrupt you, but, Sarah and I were wondering if maybe you could help us.
We'd like to work here with you, like farm hands, with you.
You want to do what?
Strictly volunteer, of course. It would help us with our research.
It would really help us out.
Don't hurt yourself. That's pretty good for city folk.
Throughout the following fall, Sarah Kelly and Jerry Adams spent most of their time on Dave's farm. They planted a wider range of autumn crops than Dave had ever tried before, and Dave's late-season produce sales boomed. And the springtime brought the most bountiful harvest the farm had ever produced. And as it has for centuries, the springtime worked its subtle wonder on Jerry and Sarah as well. Each of them had come to love the open, giving heart of the other. Their time together on the farm seemed less like a job than like a long, wonderful date that continued for weeks.
I got a letter from the bank today. The mortgage is completely paid off.
Oh, right.
That's terrific, Dave.
Propose a toast to Jerry and to Sarah. You saved me from losing everything.
We also have a little announcement to make.
I asked Sarah to marry me, and she said...
I said yes.
That's wonderful. Wow. Yeah. To the two of you. My best friends. Of course, I'll do whatever I can for you. I owe you so much. I don't know what I would have done without you. Hey, I have an idea. How about an engagement party? Right here on the farm. I'll do the cooking and everything, okay?
Oh.
And we can invite all your friends from school. What do you say?
The day of the party came. All of Dave's neighbors and all of Sarah and Jerry's friends from school were invited to the house for 7 o'clock. By 6 o'clock, the house was ready. Jerry and Sarah met for the ride out to Dave's with plenty of time to spare. They expected nothing more than an enjoyable evening with their many friends.
Okay. There he is. Look out!
Sarah.
Jerry knew that Sarah was still alive, but unconscious, and with a possibly severe head injury. Then he discovered his left leg was broken, just below the knee. Worse, Jerry realized that springtime in the Appalachian foothills can bring freezing cold rains at night. and he had studied enough medicine to know that in Sarah's unconscious state, a chill would be nothing less than fatal. Finally, his own injuries took their toll, and Jerry lost consciousness as well.
How's it going?
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Mike.
Where's the lucky couple?
Well, they're not here yet. I was hoping you would have seen them on the way in.
No, we came down the main road, didn't see anybody but us.
The party had begun on schedule, with everyone but the guests of honor. Dave suffered with a terrible premonition of doom, a feeling that something tragic had occurred.
Kid, get some help, would you? Please? Where's your daddy? Get your daddy, please.
They would have left school about 4 hours ago. That's the problem. I don't know what road they took. Okay, well, look, you got my number. If anything comes up, please give me a call. Okay. Well, thanks. What was that? Okay. Don't move, don't move. It's just a breaker. I'll be right back.
Well, that did it.
Hi, Dad. It's Stephen. I found them. They're on the shortcut north of Grey Goose River.
Hey, Dave. We just got a phone call. He said they were on a road north of Grey Goose River. Do you know where that is?
Yeah, let's take my truck.
The directions the voice on the tape had given were exactly correct, and Sarah and Jerry were reached with no wasted time. Now all that remained was to get Sarah and Jerry the medical attention they both desperately needed. Valley Mercy Hospital was more than 15 miles away. Dave feared that by the time he got Sarah and Jerry there, it might already be too late.
Mr. Hanson?
Yeah.
They're gonna be just fine. Come on, Matt.
Great, man.
You're fine.
Hey.
Dave.
So how you feeling?
The doctor said that if it had been even just a few more minutes, we would have both gone into shock.
How did you find us?
Dave's son called.
My son?
Yeah. When you went outside, the phone rang and a little boy said, "Hi, Dad, it's Stephen. I found them. They're on the shortcut north of Grey Goose River."
That's right. A boy did find us. I saw him now that you mentioned it. He looked like your son.
But that's impossible. I mean, that wasn't a phone call. That was a recording.
A recording?
Yeah, about a year ago, we lost some sheep, and I sent my son out to bring them back. When he found them, he called me to come and get them. That was the message on the answering machine. I kept the tape ever since. It's the only recording I have of his voice.
But it was right. He told you exactly where we were.
Well, then that explains it. When you flipped the breaker switch, the answering machine came back on.
No, you don't understand. I kept the tape in my room, not in the machine. Now the question is, how did the tape get in the machine?
Excuse me, when they brought you guys in, you were wrapped in this. Thought I'd return it.
Dave.
It was my son.
A message, perhaps? A deliberate clue left behind to show Dave that his family still loved him and still looked after him?
Stephen.
Or was there some other explanation? Some strange series of coincidences that could account for how Jerry and Sarah were saved? Dave Hansen made up his mind, at least, that he would never again lose heart. He had an assurance that he would always be surrounded by his loving friends, and even by his loving family. Now...